Hey folks, this is ioEther and we're back with some more world tanks. So as you can see, this is Chief H2O in his T14 on Terrain Coast. That's the one. It's a tier 5 game, it's a standard battle. We're just gonna before we get into the battle, if you guys want to get a hold of me, my Facebook, Twitter, and Duckster accounts are all in the description below. Just click on the links and hit me up if you want to talk to me. If you want to support the channel directly, my Patreon link is in the description below. It's the best way to support the channel, as it's supporting the channel directly versus me getting a little bit of ad revenue, right? Yes, Chief, because that Type T34 was in your way. You had to ram him. I understand completely. Anything else I want to talk about before we get into the game? Oh yeah, if anyone needs older patched games recorded, so patches from 9.3 all the way back to 8.8, send me an email, tell me about that. I charge a small fee, and I can record everything back to 8.8. And that's it. So, let's get into the game, now that the Chief in his T14 is slowly making his way towards the flank. He is one of 4 heavies on our team, so he's not vital in that way, except for the part where you look at the minimap and realize that... let me just pause this for a sec so my mouse doesn't disappear. Our one T14 is here, and then I think there's 2 heavies right here. So, those aren't optimal places for your heavies. You want a heavy over here, preferably 2, if you have 2 to spare. And then the rest of them should be over here on this island. Or, what, peninsula, I guess, is what it's actually called. Excuse me. If you don't have your heavies in those kind of strategic positions, then holding those flanks becomes substantially harder. Now, this Panzer III-4 isn't really looking at Chief, so Chief got the first shot off for free, the second shot missed, or second return shot missed, first, whatever. Return shot missed, and now they're in a duel. Now, the Panzer III-4 is never going to win a front-on, heads-up duel with the T14. The reason for that is the T14's armor is sloped and awesome. He would need to get around the back and hit that flat armor, or even the side for the flat armor, or the side of the turret might go through. Front on a T14 is nearly invincible in its own tier, except from a tank destroyer or like that NHE shell. Now, a Type T34 has managed to get around behind him, but he doesn't even care because he's not really noticing. Now, he does want to take care of this medium first, and then he's going to spin and take care of the T4, the Type T14 behind him. Oh, that was a missed shot, but it's okay. I mean, he's going to get another one. Again, M2 medium firing HE. I believe he had the little dirt gun on, so that's why he was firing HE. But he was never going to do any real damage to Chief. Now, unfortunately, this Type T34 can put rounds through. Let's see where he's putting rounds. Just going straight through the front of his tank. The more angled Chief would be, the less likely this guy is to penetrate him. And now Chief's got a little bit of a problem. I kind of like the fact that he is so high. Ah, beautiful. Beautiful job. So he is... okay, for a sec there, he locked on with auto-aim, which makes it really easy when you're in a slower tank like this, or any kind of tank, and you're moving around and trying to dodge shells and still hit the enemy. Anytime you can, and you get into that kind of duel, and there's not like a rock or cover in between you of some kind, just throw on auto-aim and start dodging around and try to dodge return fire while holding down the fire button. Every single one of your shots will most likely penetrate as long as your auto-aim hovers over the side and back of his tank, and you're more likely to be able to dodge return fire. or at least back up and make it so that his return fire bounces off you. Okay, so there's the enemy T14, but we're not really going to worry about him because that locust on the cap, as much as he's not a serious danger, the fact that he's on the cap isn't great. It's adding added pressure to our team, and he's going to win if we leave him alone, because the fact is that Chief has moved a good 30 seconds across this landscape, which is, you know, wow, my mouth is getting dry. Which is most of the time this guy's been capping, and the rest of our team hasn't moved to stop him at all. So if we didn't move, the rest of our team would have gone, oh, somebody else will get it, and then we would have lost. And that's a problem. Don't want to lose. So now it's 3 on 5. Now, albeit one of those 3 and 4. One of those 5 was a T14. The rest were pretty much just light tanks. Though, I guess calling the MX-40 a light tank is never actually going to work. Chief, you're not going to penetrate him from the front without gold. And even with gold, it's going to be a little bit tough. That turret up on top is your best bet to penetrate him. But at this range, the T14 just doesn't have the accuracy to do that kind of thing. You're going to need to get up close and personal with him and circle around and hit him from the side or the back. That's the only way you're going to win this. Now, he's got a T40 who's stuck out on the little island peninsula thingy at D0. He's not going to do a whole lot from there, but he is going to make sure that this side doesn't press too hard. So while he's doing that, it gives Chief time to relocate. Now, this locust is shown on the map as right next to Chief, but more likely he is actually somewhere around here by now. I would hope that he has retreated out and he's trying to find a way to get in behind Chief. That's what I expect from an enemy scout. That's what I hope he's doing. It's probably not what he's actually doing. Ooh, and we just took out the enemy gun. That's always good. That will definitely piss him off. So 8 minutes left in the game, and now the pace of the game is going to slow down a little bit. Nobody really wants to make a mistake because they know that any given mistake here is going to quite possibly lose you the game. So Chief is slowly trying to push forward. He doesn't want to advance too fast because that would leave him out in the open for too long. Whereas he does want to get closer because the T14 is so bad with range shots that the closer he can get, the closer he can get, the more likely he can succeed. Where? Oh. Teammates make me sad sometimes. So the M3 has just committed suicide. That's the only thing I can draw from that. It wasn't like he was under threat of death. It wasn't like somebody pushed him. He walked off a cliff and forgot to push forward to get back up. Oh, and the Locust is behind Chief. Good job, Locust! So unfortunately, Chief has gold rounds loaded. And beautiful job switching over to his standard rounds. He knows he has the time to reload. He might as well switch over. And now he's going to go hunt this Locust down. Now, why the Locust is concentrating on Chief, I don't know. Chief, you can't get up there. No, you can't go up there. Yeah. If you're in a faster tank and you had some speed, maybe. But no. Ha! Oh, yeah. Okay, so what I was going to say was... Whoops, let's zoom back in again. So when Chief went this way, he dropped off radar. And if the Locust didn't know any better, he may have thought Chief was going to circle around. It would have given Chief a little bit of an advantage, which he is now pressing. and he's going to back the Locust right off. The Locust was silly enough to try and jump on the cap. I don't know why he was going to try that, but either way, it led to his death. Good job. 5 kills and 1 off his Top Gun. Now that we know our backside is clear, we can push forward with a little bit more ease. But again, not a whole lot, because we still have enemies in front of us that can cut us down if we're not careful. It's not so much the AMX-40 that's the matter, it's more the Valentine and the Lorraine. If the AMX-40 tracks us in the open, Valentine and the Lorraine can punish us for being tracked in the open. However, Valentine just got lit and is now dead. That's really helpful. Okay, so now Chief can be much more aggressive, because the likelihood of the Lorraine penetrating a shot and killing him is much lower. So now it's really only an AMX-40 they have to deal with, and the whittling shots of an artillery, which is going to be fine. Now, Chief is approaching from this side, which does 2 things. First off, it puts him out in the open, but there you go. As you saw, it surprised the AMX-40. He did not expect an enemy to come around that side. He expected Chief to come around the safer side.
5-minute warning.
It cost Chief a little bit of health, but it was completely worth it because we got that last kill. Now, you just heard the 5-minute warning, so now we have 5 minutes to win this thing. Let's see. Their options become running to the cap and chasing down artillery. There isn't really a second option in this. There is really the only option. They need to get to the cap as soon as possible and start capping. In this kind of position, the Lorraine 39 Lamb is a semi-fast artillery. It can move fast enough that it's going to give these guys trouble if they try and chase it down. And if they try and chase it down and don't cap out, then it's possible they'll spend too much time chasing it down, that this will end in a draw, and effectively the Lamb will have snatched victory from the jaws of defeat. So in order to not do that, they're going to have to just jump on the cap and pull the Lorraine to them. If the Lorraine wants to win, he's going to have to come and show himself. Or he's going to have to drop random bombs on the cap and hope he hits enough of them over enough time to delay the game, and then either win by killing both of them, or more likely just delay the game into a draw. But that's unlikely. 45 seconds. Now, yes, 2 shells would take that down to being, having make them restart. The Lorraine goes every 20 seconds or so. It's going to be fairly difficult for him to land shots unless he can see his targets. And if he can see his targets,
3 minutes left.
Thank you. If he can see his targets, then he can definitely hurt them, but he hasn't fired shots yet, so he most likely can't see, and he's either waiting, or he's about to fire a random shot, or he's running. Coward ran away. He tried to cap us out. Okay, so this is a clear win, and something okay, so 2 things. First off, if we tried to hunt him down, obviously we would have tried the normal routes around here. Let's just blow up this map a little bit bigger, seeing as the screen doesn't matter anymore. No, the normal normal arty hiding spots around here. When Chief was back here, he got hit from this side with an artillery blast. So likely the Lorraine was over here at the time. Even if they'd taken an educated guess and gone and hunted in here, by the time they realized where he was, they would not have had the time to get to cap. Maybe enough time to stop the cap. If the Lorraine just started running at some point, then they never would have killed him, and it would have ended in a draw. So by capping here, they won the game. If they decide to chase down the kill, maybe they could have got it. More than likely, the odds are they would have lost the game, or it would have ended in a draw, which is the same thing as a loss. Now, it's anything else I want to say? Oh, right, the Lorraine. So in this position, anytime you are outnumbered and outgunned, never go for the enemy cap. Never. I don't care what tank you're in. Unless the entire enemy team is in the slowest tanks you've ever seen, and you know they're on the other side of the map, and you can cap their base hit before they get there, and you're like, you know, last tank alive kind of thing. Maybe. I've seen that win a couple of battles, but more often than not, one of the faster enemy tanks gets back to the cap, resets it, and then everyone else floods in, and you die 5-on-1. Trying desperately to kill somebody in the cap circle. In other words, you die for nothing. Whereas, in this kind of situation, if the Lorraine had stuck around here, he could have waited until the cap was fairly full, and then used that time to find... There isn't really a good approach. So the best approach is actually from back here. If the Lorraine had waited around up here maybe, and been looking that way, waiting to shotgun somebody, as soon as they jumped on the cap, he could have scooted around and come back up from this side. From this angle, he could have spotted one of them, probably the T14, without ever getting lit, because of the bushes back there. Backed up, taken a shot, killed the T14, and then concentrate on Chief. It would have been more likely a way to win. It may have still ended in a loss for him, but at least he had the chance of winning if he'd done something like that. As soon as he raced for the enemy cap, he abandoned all hope of victory, unless, of course, his enemy team was so incredibly stupid that they decided to follow him. We had Chief on our team, Chief decided to cap, we won the game. But whenever you're outnumbered, don't go for a cap unless you are 100% slow. They can't get to your cap before you can outcap them, and they can't get back to stop you. 2800 experience without premium, with his daily double. That, of course, lands him the ace tanker. He grabbed the top gun, high caliber, steel wall, bruiser, duelist, shellproof, and fire for effect. Wow. Great job, Chief. Taking something that's a fairly old tank, and one you don't see a whole lot of anymore, and just showing us what it can truly do. Wow. 1500 damage out over 6 kills. That was pretty awesome. A third of his team did nothing. Half of his team did barely anything at all. So without this carry, this would have been a loss with a shadow of a doubt. Emmy Lorraine made a few mistakes, but other than that, it was a great game played by both sides. I would have liked to have met that KV1 at some point, because obviously he was a heavy hitter for his team, but he just never ran into our path. 25 shots fired, most of them penetrated and did substantial damage, yet 945 damage blocked by armor. That was actually quite a few shots bounced off the back of his tank, because people weren't really aiming their shots and they were shooting at his sloped armor instead of at the flat, beautiful back end that you could just penetrate every shot into. Oh well. Made a whole bunch of cash because, of course, this is a premium vehicle. And for a 12-minute game, that was completely worth it. Great game, Chief. That was pretty awesome to watch. Thank you all for watching. Have a great night. This is ioEther out. Hey folks, this is ioEther, and we're back with some more world tanks. Side scraping. How to counter a player who's side scraping. So the E100 is trying to side scrape. And you can see, let's see where. Ronick is actually firing at the engine deck of the enemy tank. And well, that makes sense because Ronick's gun is actually higher up than the enemy tank's engine deck, so he can aim down. And if he concentrates right, and if he, T57
Really? How did you miss that shot on the T-57? Really? That was like a free shot. So the enemy Elon Hunter is getting really pissed that Ronick can somehow penetrate him without being, you know, without exposing enough of his tank so that so this guy can kill Ronick. So Ronick's, yeah, again, gonna shoot for the engine deck.